Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that wants everyone to know that if he ever posts pictures of him camping, you better send the police, because he's being held against his will. It's Dale.
Well, unless we're camping right outside the car, in a camper.
Yeah. Camping in the house. Yeah. Dale does not camp.
I used to. No, we used to before I had a house. When I was still staying with my mom or whatever, we'd go down to the lake and I'd go there and stay for like a week. But, you know, the house is close, so it was like it wasn't really camping. I mean, it was. We'd sleep in there, but I'd still go back to her house, take a shower, all that stuff, and then come back. So.
You didn't take a bath in the
lake? I ain't hiking in the damn woods and doing it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put it that way.
Okay, well, we'll just stick to what I just said then.
Well, you could probably just stop it at hiking, I guess, because I ain't doing no damn hiking either.
No. He don't hike even when he's hiking.
Heck no, I got a motorcycle. Once I got a motor, them pedaling and walking, all that mess is over.
That's exactly right.
Because I'm a lazy bastard.
He'll walk to the fridge to get a beer.
Ain't that right?
What's going on, dude?
I'll go get me one. Oh, yeah, same old.
Same old?
Actually, not. This is really going to be exciting.
Yeah, we've got a really good case today.
Yeah,
we do. And
we've got an amazing guest coming up.
Yeah, this is a very recent.
It's a very right now.
Yeah, this is in right now. But we're talking about Rudy Farrius.
Yes.
This has been in the news. This is a kid who was 17 at the time that went missing. He went missing on March the 6th, 2015.
Yes.
And this is when he had went out to walk a dog or a couple of dogs he had there at the house and never came home.
Was the story.
That's the story, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd been missing for 8 years.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
So this is a bunch of twists and turns and complications, and man, it's just really got messy here now that, I don't know, it's just a crazy, crazy story.
Yeah, but this is Rudy Farias, and I mean, when I first heard about this, I was like, man, and Quannell X was on the news and giving his thoughts on this, and he's an activist there in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
And he was contacted by Rudy's mother to take care of this.
Yeah, or come in and talk to her because she didn't want to talk to the cops.
Exactly.
She wanted somebody to go with her, basically.
Yeah, sort of like a middle person kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah, and Quannell got involved, and I saw him on the news, and I was like, Dale, we got to find this guy.
Right.
We got to get in touch with him.
Exactly. So we looked into it, and it's like you said, the guy, Rudy, had went missing, supposedly, when he was, what did you say?
17.
He was 17, and then now it's
8 years later.
He's 25, and he's come to light, and everybody's like, well, where were you? Where you been? And he's like, I've been at home the whole time.
Yeah.
But basically his mother has been keeping him there and telling him that when he supposedly he had gotten a speeding ticket or something when he was going to work or something one day. And I don't know what all was going on, but this was kind of his story and then what we've heard kind of mixed together, that he'd gotten a speeding ticket and he was in trouble, and his mama told him he was going to go to jail and he was in trouble, so he ran away. And that's why he said was the reasoning. Now there might be more behind it, but so far we really don't know because it's so early. But anyway, he came back home 2 days later, and his mother said, well, now there's a warrant after you. They spent a lot of time trying to get you, and so you're going to have to hide in the house. So one story I read or heard was where he said that she had hid him somewhere for just a little while and then brought him back home, and then basically was hiding him in the house. And anytime anybody come over, he would have to go and hide in his room or hide somewhere. So basically keep up this facade that he's missing, and done this for 8 years. And there was a lot of stuff going on in this, but we can get into that a little more with Quannell.
But yeah, we reached out to Quannell, and he was so graciously kind to answer our call and agree to be on the show.
Yes.
So we have him on the show, and we want to welcome Quannell X to the Crack House Chronicles, Dale.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen. Good evening.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
First and foremost, Quannell, tell us, how is Rudy? That's why we're here. How is he doing?
Rudy, at this time, to be honest with you, is not yet receiving what he so desperately needs. What he needs is a forensic psychotherapist, a forensic psychiatrist, and he needs intensive drug therapy and counseling and treatment. Those are the two most important therapeutic things that Rudy Farias needs. And because of his age, that is somewhat an issue for those who are trying to get it to him, because he is no longer a minor. But hopefully, by God's grace, before the end of the week, Rudy will be receiving what he needs and what he deserves. Okay. And that's medical and therapeutic treatment.
Okay, Quannell, tell us, how did you get involved with Rudy's case?
A friend of mine reached out to me and said to me that Rudy's mother wanted to speak with me and that she needed to speak with me. She told me a little bit about the missing boy that had been missing for 8 years and found. I knew a little about the case, but I hadn't paid much attention to it.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, she can call me, give her my number, and tell her she can reach out to me. She did that, and we spoke. And she began to explain to me what she was accused of and what was happening and what was taking place. And I listened intensely. And I said to her, well, if law enforcement is trying to intimidate you or threaten you with some of the words that they're using about they need to speak with you and why they want to speak with you, I say, well, then I will go with you when it's time for them to interview you. She said, please, I would appreciate that. So the next day, I got a call in the middle of the day and said, I'm going to be meeting with them in 20 minutes. Can you come? I said, well, let me go home and change, and I will meet you there. Then she called back in 10 minutes and said, no, I'm at a hotel at the Holiday Inn, and they are already here. I said, okay, let me turn around. And I went straight there. That's why I was dressed in the manner that I was dressed, leaving the gym.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, they were already in the room with Miss Jeannie. And I eventually entered the room and sat next to her. And while they spoke to her, she began to answer questions that they posed to her. Well, two of the questions in particular, the way she answered those questions were completely opposite of what she had told me the night before. She said that they asked her, well, who is this man that resembles your son, Rudy, that's been seen around your home? She said the night before, she said to me, she said, oh, that wasn't Rudy, that's my ex-boyfriend.
Wow.
And right then, I'm like, well, wow, maybe she just made a mistake because she's under stress.
Mm-hmm.
Then what really jumped out at me was they asked her, just a week and a half, 2 weeks before, your car was stolen. She said yes. And she says, they stole my car out of my driveway after I came home from work. They broke in it and stole my car. And then the cop said to her, well, your keys were in the car. She said, huh? And she didn't even know that.
Right.
And they said, well, your keys were in the car and your car was not broken in two. She said, oh, well, I left the keys in there, so somehow they must have saw the keys in the cup holder and just jumped in it. Now, the night before, she said to me that her car was stolen and they broke in the car. Well, there was no break-in.
Big difference, yeah.
Come to find out, Rudy actually stole the car the night he ran away from her home to escape the abuse that he was enduring and suffering in that house.
Quannell, why did it take Rudy so long to get out of that situation? Why?
Or do we know?
Do we know?
Well, this is what Rudy said to me, and I believed him. Absolutely, I did. He said he had first ran away 8 years ago. He returned home 2 days later, and she told him, because she had been having problems out of him, and she told him, well, if the police catch you, you're going to jail because they've been looking for you, and they spent a lot of resources and manpower looking for you, and because you back home now, you're going to go to jail if they know who you are. And so you can't tell them who you are. You can't tell anybody your name. So you have to hide out now. So she convinced him that if he identified himself to anyone, in particular, especially the police, that he would go to jail because he initially ran away. And she convinced him that he had a warrant out for his arrest.
Wow.
And so the young man is believing all of these years he has warrants out for his arrest for running away. And at the same time, she was keeping him on drugs. She was providing him with mushrooms, and particularly called it mushrooms to us, to me and the detective. And he said the drugs caused him to hallucinate. Well, it made it easier for her to control him. And it made it easier for her to convince him of that what she wanted him to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And she would lock him in his room often. And to be honest with you, I believe this woman had a sick, twisted idea in her mind that she could replace Rudy's deceased father with Rudy.
Man.
Now, mind you, when Rudy was a kid, a young boy growing up, he and his mother were never close. It was his older brother who went to the military, who had come home from the military and died in a motorcycle accident, that was really the parent that raised Rudy with other extended family. Janie was not really there for that kid like that. And so she decided, I believe, that she wanted someone that she could control and convince him to play the role of his father in many sick ways. Because he said to me, my mama said to me that I had to be the husband now. He said that she told him that you're daddy now. And he didn't like it when she called him. He didn't like it when she called him daddy.
Wow, this is like a big twist on like where they say, instead of just saying you have to be the man of the house, she's taking this way, way, way farther than that. It's crazy what you're saying. Yeah. My goodness.
Way further than that.
Yes.
The young boys in the shower, showering, and you come in the bathroom and get butt naked.
Man.
Pull a curtain back on it. And I'll leave that a part of that. To force that young boy to sleep in your bed. Yeah. When he told you he didn't like that, he didn't want to. When he told you he felt like you're crossing boundaries and you're kissing him in the mouth.
Yeah.
And you're telling him, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything wrong. You're a damn liar. You're trying to convince a kid that you got drugged up, doped up, and scared to death that what you're doing to him is okay. And it was not okay. What she did was absolutely dead wrong.
Yes, it's wrong.
And in my mind, and in my opinion, if this boy is telling you that he wants his privacy and you exposing yourself to him in the shower, if you're making him get in the bed with you and he's telling you he don't like that, don't kiss him, he's telling you he don't like that, how in the hell you going to tell him that's not molestation?
Yes, it is.
Man, it's
100% molestation, Quannell.
The sad part about it is, I believe it was wrong for the detectives to insinuate to him that because you were an adult when these things were happening, Rudy, you could be charged with incest also. He's a victim.
What?
That's like telling a woman who comes forth saying she was raped, that if they find out one thing is not true, just one, she can be charged also.
Yes, exact same thing.
They didn't treat him like a victim. Then they came when they did their interview. I don't know if you saw that hilarious Dog and Pony Show press conference they had.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the most confusing press conferences I've ever seen law enforcement give. They even indicated by subtle suggestion in that press conference that Rudy might be a potential suspect also. But how's he going to open up and talk to you?
Right.
And you already indicated he possibly might be a suspect also under investigation.
Basically, they're basically just confirming what his mama's been telling him for 8 years.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Quannell, when we first got into this and first saw you online telling this story, the first thing that went into my mind was Rudy was he special needs? Was he have some kind of mental disability or something? But then I saw the interview with him. They had the face blurred out, and this kid is very articulate.
Yes.
He is very smart.
Extensive vocabulary.
Yes.
Yeah. What she did to him caused some mental health issues to develop. I believe that.
Yeah, I think so too.
She caused trauma with that young man. Giving him drugs like that, hallucinatory drugs, for years. Man, that's wrong. That'll drive anybody crazy.
Yes, it would.
So how long before he ran away the first time was his brother killed in the accident?
I'm not sure. I got that written down. That's a good question, but I'm not sure about that.
Right, because in the interview with him, he was really upset about losing his brother, and I just wondered how far
That was
back,
all he had.
Yeah, how far back
was
this
all he
abuse
had.
goes, because it could be way before, and that may have been part of why he ran around in the first place.
That was all he had. Now, let me tell you why law enforcement, I believe, handled the situation the way that they did. Rudy Farias' father, Rudy Sr., was a HPD police officer who got involved in a scandal in the department and took his own life in his patrol car at the police headquarters.
Holy cow.
At the police station. And the reason why they didn't go after Janie the way that they would have went after somebody else, they wanted to protect the wife and the family of one of their fallen own.
Right, they're trying to protect the badge.
And
right.
Yes, and they went in looking at her as the wife and the child of one of their own who had died in the line of duty BS. And that's why they didn't go after like they would have somebody else.
Wow. Quannell, why is Rudy telling a different story now? He's saying in his interview that he's being misunderstood, that it wasn't...
Seems to me like somebody's made him change his story.
Yeah, inappropriate. It wasn't any inappropriate touching or anything like that in his interview.
Right.
What's happening there, man?
Let me say this. There's two things out there that you need to see. At the press conference I held on that Friday, his aunts were at the press conference. His aunts had just left from visiting Rudy before they came to the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
And they said at the press conference, we believe Quannell X and everything he has said because we asked Rudy, was it true? And Rudy said to them, yes, it was, the things that Quannell X was saying. It was when they scared him about him possibly being charged with incest also because of his age. Is what spooked that kid, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this in a very sick way. He still feels the need to protect his mother. Because
wow.
one thing he said to me on several occasions in that meeting, I don't want my mom to go to prison. I don't want my mom to go to jail. Because in his mind, that's all he has.
Mm.
And he still feels the sick need to protect his mother. Then remember, when we were through speaking with that young man, myself and the detectives, as we stepped out of the room and we're still standing there, she barges in the room and begin to question him. And she's questioning him.
Wow.
He says to him, you got to take back what you told them or I'll go to prison and I'll kill myself. We heard her say it.
Oh, wow.
Me and several others right there heard her say it. Now there's a recording out there that we recorded of Jamie not even 36 hours ago. She's on the phone talking to a family friend, and she admits on tape that Rudy did tell me that everything Quannell said he told him. We got it on tape. In fact, I'll tell Sister Iris to send it to you.
Yes, please do.
Yes. Oh, man, I'm blown away.
Yeah, I'm just.
In fact, it's out on YouTube right now. The recorded conversation.
Why haven't this woman been arrested, man? What?
I guess the same. They're still dodging it.
Let me say this, my friend. When you watch the police initial press conference, did they not admit that she told multiple lies to investigators? Did they not admit that this was all a hoax and she had made false police reports?
Yeah.
Did they not admit that she thwarted ongoing investigations with these lies? Are they not aware of the fundraising schemes she had in Rudy's name, collecting money from Facebook and other fundraisers that she was having in the city and out of the city? Now, you tell me, gentlemen, when the police have ever come before you, the public, and they admitted to somebody that they're looking at has committed all of these crimes, ain't nobody going to jail.
Yeah, or even been charged or nothing. I mean,
everything I just told you are crimes. Those are crimes.
Wow.
So it needs to be asked to them, When in the hell can all these crimes take place and people just walk free
Right.
that you are aware of?
Man,
I'm speechless.
yeah, this is the most messed up case I've ever heard of in my life, Quannell.
Thank God for you, brother. I swear.
I mean, we appreciate you so much and what you're doing down there. Trying to find some kind of justice for Rudy.
Well, he's the only one looking out for him. Everybody else is worried about other stuff. But he's trying to get him the best help he can get.
Quannell, when's the last time you talked to Rudy?
It's been a couple of days.
Are they keeping you away from him now, or?
Not really,
Okay.
not really. But I've somewhat kept my distance
I understand.
to some degree for a good reason.
Yes, sir.
I get it.
Because I've stated what I want for him: treatment and therapy.
And he damn well
I've
needs
stated what I want for him to get the help that he needs. Everybody else with different agendas has nothing to do with me, and I don't want to be a part of it.
it. Smart man.
What's some of the local talk down there in Houston about this? What are some of the locals saying about it?
The same thing you all are saying. They just as confused as you all are. Everybody across the country and the world is just as confused about this case as you are. When you look at the history of that mother, she is a piece of work.
I believe it.
Married to multiple men at the same time. 4, 5 men at the same time.
Well, that's
enough right
that's
there.
a crime right there.
Man, brother, listen, man, and then raising money on GoFundMe, and he knows she lying.
Yeah.
And Rudy has admitted she was lying. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and that one
How
thing
can she not be charged?
she was crying and all this stuff about where's all the money she raised and all ripping off these people, and then next thing you know, he's like, well, no, there wasn't really nothing going on. And I was so confused watching this because I'm like, part of it, he's all upset, and the next he's like really defending her, like you say. Like, I guess he's so confused he don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Man,
He's a kid that needs therapy, that
he
needs
is.
help.
I feel so bad for him.
Is he going to get any therapy, Quannell? Is he going to get it?
If I have anything to do with it, yes. But outside of my involvement, I don't know, but I hope and pray so. He needs it.
Yeah.
Or there'll be another tragic ending, God forbid, to that story.
Yeah, he needs some help and help today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where is,
Exactly.
I mean, just not specifically, but where is he staying? You don't have to tell us specific, but what kind of place is he staying in now?
With a family friend.
Okay.
Good.
So he's
The last I stayed with a family friend.
So he's getting some kind of little loving and attention from.
Somebody
I believe
that
so.
cares.
Much better than a whole lot better than where he was.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. He just wasn't in a hotel room somewhere.
By
Or,
himself.
Yeah.
Thinking,
No.
Good.
No.
okay. That makes me
Well, that's
feel
a little bit, yeah.
that makes me feel a lot better then. Yeah. Where is the mother now? What does she do now? Where is she at?
She's home, I guess.
I was told she went back home, and she's been there off and on. But what she's doing, I don't know. But I will say this: my biggest fear, and I said this to the detectives. I said, sir, after everything you just heard that young man tell us, you cannot let that young man leave this hotel with that woman. I wouldn't even say his mother, because to me that wasn't no mother. That's what that kid told me.
Agreed.
And the detective, I said, you cannot let that happen. The detective them at one point put in handcuffs in the other room. If he didn't believe a crime had been committed and that boy didn't speak of crimes, why you put in handcuffs
Good Lord.
in the other room? Why'd you handcuff him? You don't handcuff nobody who you're finna put in jail
That's
after
right.
hearing the victim make a confession.
Hell, let him make him want to run back to his mama. You was right, mama. You was right. Good Lord, people.
Exactly. So now, it's ridiculous how this has been handled by law enforcement. Nobody understands why this woman has been allowed to walk free. Nobody.
Has any other authorities been involved besides local law enforcement? Has the state or anybody been involved with it, or the?
Was it just
Not
too
that I'm
early
aware
for
of.
that?
Yeah, it's just local
Not that
authorities.
Right. Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I can't believe the lie she told. There was one that she said that he'd been abducted and went to taken to Mexico, then he escaped and come back across the border, and
Followed the moon home or something. Wasn't
yeah,
Followed the moon and the stars to the house.
what the heck?
To the house. Oh, well, look, I mean, I've heard of the Twilight Zone, but That's exactly what that was with her interview.
Amen.
Well,
Yeah.
she
That
lives
was
in
just
she lives in a
straight
twilight
lines.
zone. Yeah. God, I'm
The straight lines.
well, man, I hope there is some justice and Rudy can get some help. I mean, is anybody offered any kind of free counseling for him? I mean,
There have been people calling in, and we've been forwarding information to the family. Yes,
okay, well, good.
offering him some help and assistance.
Hopefully, he'll jump all over it and take it, and just sit down and talk to people.
I hope so, brother. I really do, because he needs it. But he's 25 years old now.
Exactly.
That's part of it, yeah.
So he can make his own decisions
Yeah.
because of his age.
It's just going to have to take it slow. It'll be day by day with him.
This thing is going to play itself out for the better, or it's going to play itself out for the worse.
Yeah.
A lot is in Rudy's court because of his age, but he must have the right people around him that he is willing to listen to.
Right.
But I do believe this. I don't think Rudy will complete open up until law enforcement charge and arrest his mother. Then he can possibly feel safe.
Right.
Yeah, but then she told him that she'd kill herself in jail. So
You know, brother. It's a bad situation.
it is.
Poor boy.
It's a messed up situation all the way around.
Yeah. We're
Yes,
really,
sir, it is.
you know, thank God for you
Yeah.
coming in there and helping and getting attention to this, man, because this kid needs some help.
I appreciate you gentlemen for having me.
Yeah, we saw you on the news, and I said, "Man, I got to get Quannell on our show. We got to ask him some questions."
Yeah.
And you,
Get the truth,
I
man.
appreciate you having me. I
And-
appreciate you having me, man.
yeah, Knight, you give me cold chills just talking to you, man. Is there any one last thing you want to add before we get off of here, man?
I know you're busy.
I just want to say this to your listening audience.
Okay.
It is important for them not to look at this case on the surface, because you'll walk away completely confused. If you're going to formulate and shape an opinion about this entire case and all the parties involved, take your time and listen and look at all of everything that's out there. Then you can completely see what has been done, what has happened here, and you can make a clear, honest assessment and judgment call on which direction this case needs to go. Because there's so many moving parts, and there's so many different parties that have gotten involved and are involved and have a responsibility to make sure that justice is served.
Amen to that, brother.
So thank you all for having me. I greatly appreciate it. May God bless you and your podcast and your listening audience.
Well, bless you,
I wish
Quannell,
you
and your
success.
work you're doing.
And thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, gentlemen. May God bless you, and thank you for having me.
All right.
Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Good night to you too, brother.
Thank you.
But yeah, we want to thank Quannell again.
Oh man, thank you for all your work you're doing for down there for this kid, because Lord knows he needs some help. And even though he is 25, he's not thinking like he's 25.
No,
He needs some help.
he does. He needs some therapy
He
bad.
probably needs a lot more than he realizes.
Yeah, we want everybody to share this podcast and get the word out.
And see if you can get some help down there, especially since we got a lot of friends in Texas, and we think about all you guys down there and this kid. And good Lord, man, what a story.
Yeah. All right, Dale. We're
And
gonna get out here,
again,
buddy.
we really appreciate Quannell taking the time, because I know he's wide open right now for giving us a little bit of time. And
Yeah, it took a lot to get him on the show.
yeah,
We had to squeeze him in.
yeah, and
So, yeah.
a lot of your efforts too, Donnie. So thank you for that.
Well, we worked it out.
Yes.
All right, Dale. We're gonna get out here, bud.
All right, let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe. Just please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.